And now students can't join right now. We're just in the practice session. But if we are all good to go, I'm going to start the webinar.
Okay.
All right, hello everyone. We just opened up the webinar, so students are starting to trickle in. So we're just going to give everyone about 30 seconds or so, just to let more students file in. So we'll get started with our introductions. Hi everyone, my name is Grace.
My name is Katie.
And I'm Bridget, and we're all grade 12 students at Western Canada High School. And we're really excited today to introduce our new Joy to Job members who will be moderating part of this evening's webinar. And we don't normally have this many moderators, but we just wanted to introduce our new team members. So go ahead, guys.
Hello, I'm Sandeep. I'm a grade 11 student from Western Canada High School.
Hi, I'm Melissa, and I am also a grade 11 student from Western Canada.
And I'm Ellen, a grade 10 student at Dr. E.P. Scarlett. And we're thrilled to be the new team members of Joy to Job. And we really look forward to seeing you all at future webinars.
We are really excited you can all join us for our 7th Joy to Job webinar, where we are trying to help students feel more confident in their career path by connecting them with professionals and careers they are interested in. We have 88 registrants for this evening's webinar, which is amazing.
We have 4 very special panelists speaking today, all from areas in the computer sciences and technology. Joining us is David, Lucy, Marcus, and Huda.
So I also just want to let everyone know that we do have closed captioning available if that is something you would like to use. So first, we're going to get started with the webinar by learning a bit about the professionals and answering some questions that we prepared just to get to know them a little bit better. And then after that, we're going to move on to some of the awesome questions that you guys have asked. You did ask a lot of questions, so we're going to try to get through as many as possible. But if you do think of questions throughout the webinar, feel free to put them in the Q&A function. It should just be on the bottom or the side bar of your screen. And the panelists, they'll be able to answer the questions, just give you typed answers. So yeah, first we're going to go ahead and ask some of the questions we've prepared. So we're going to start out by asking these questions to David, and then Lucy, Marcus, and then Huda. So the questions, David, are what post-secondary education have you received? What has your career path been since you graduated high school? And then also, what do you like most about your job or field of study? So just starting out with what post-secondary education have you received?
So I guess I'll start with like a little introduction of like myself before I get to the questions. I'm David. I work at Neo Financial. We're a digital bank. It's a general summary. We're just trying to like digitize everything to do with banking. So post-secondary education. So I went to the University of British Columbia. I studied computer science. I graduated with honors. So that's what my degree's in. My career path since high school. So I initially wanted to become a dentist because I did really good in bio in high school. So I'm like, hey, like I'm gonna be a dentist. And then I got to university and I realized that like I don't like bio as much as I thought I did. And then I saw my engineering friends were doing cool stuff. And then I transferred to engineering. And then I got into engineering and it just wasn't for me. And then I remember I took one computer science course as like an elective in like my first year. So I was like, hey, let me try computer science in my 3rd year. And then from then on, it was like straight A's, everything just like clicked for me. So I did comp sci, and then I got a job at a consulting company like a few months before I graduated. I worked there up until COVID, and then they downsized. I laid off a bunch of people, and then unfortunately, I was one of the guys that got laid off because I just joined. And then I did an internship for a startup in New York called TrackFlow over the summer, so from like May to like September. And then I started working at Neo Financial in November. So that's what has led to where I am today. And then what do I like most of my job? I think the fact that like I'm a very like hands-on, like I like applying what I learned the same day. So the fact that I can write something on my computer and like literally see it in front of me and like ship that off to production and like have like hundreds of thousands of people using the code that I wrote, to me, that's the most satisfying part. That's the best part. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thanks so much, David. Yeah, now we'll move Lucy to the same questions with you. So your post-secondary education, or also maybe the post-secondary education you're working towards, your career path. And I think so some of our panelists, they're actually still in university, which is super, super awesome. We're actually really excited about that. So maybe some of your potential future career goals or other experiences you've had, and then also what you like most about your career.
Yeah, so hi everyone. If I sound a bit nervous, that's just me being nervous, but I'm Lucy. I'm currently a second year student, also from UBC, so yay UBC. I'm in the Faculty of Science, taking computer science and minoring in biochemistry. And some courses I'm taking, I guess, in computer science is stuff like discrete logic, proofs, program design, algorithms. And then for biochemistry, it's courses like obviously biochemistry, but also organic chemistry, microbiology and immunology, and genetics and biology. And just some of my high school background, because I'm still like in my university career, I also did the IB program in high school, and I did history, literature, and chemistry HL, and math, physics, and Chinese SL. So no computer science courses at all in high school. Yeah, so the second question is my career path since high school. So my first job since high school, I did some tutoring for mathematics because I was trying to gain some experience, just some general experience. And then after that, in the my first computer science related internship I'm actually doing right now, I'm interning at the Proof Center, which is a biotechnology, an organization that's affiliated with UBC. I'm kind of doing research and development towards automating the extraction of patient information from cancer reports. So what that entails is I'm working with code and natural language processing to make the computer extract information from like a surgery report instead of having a medical student do it. And that internship is actually coming to an end this Friday. And starting next week, I'll be interning at Microsoft as a software engineer intern, and I'll be on the Garage team. And the Garage team, if you don't know what that is, it's a kind of a sub team within Microsoft where they work on experimental projects. And one kind of product that came out of the Garage team at Microsoft is the HoloLens. So if you're interested in that, that's what the Garage team is all about. And since I'm still in school, um, since I'm taking courses in computer science and biochemistry, I'm kind of interested in the life sciences and technology intersection careers, something like in biotechnology or bioinformatics person, but who knows what will happen in the future. And what do I like the most about my job or field of study? So, what I really like about my current job is that it's kind of the intersection of healthcare or medicine and computer science. So, similarly to David, in high school, I had like no plans to do anything related to computer science. I was super interested in chemistry, and I was gonna just go major in chemistry. But the career prospects in chemistry are a bit limited, so I decided to give computer science a try. And then I found out about all these intersections of computer science with like biology and chemistry and life sciences. So then I added a minor on. And what I like most about each subject separately is that computer science is a lot of problem solving, and I really like to do problem solving. And biochemistry to me is really interesting is because I like to understand stuff like how a vaccine works or what happens when you take a drug. And by combining the two, it's a kind of problem solving and figuring out how stuff works, like vaccines and stuff. And that's super interesting to me because, especially with like COVID and with COVID, for instance, you can use computer science to predict cases or use computer science to predict COVID-19 protein looks like. And there's actually a lot of overlap between the two. And that's why I really enjoy what I'm studying right now.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Lucy. Yeah, that was great. And I had no idea that like biology, like biochemistry and computer science, I don't know, I didn't imagine those like being things that could work together. So that's super cool. Marcus, we'll go and we'll put the same questions to you. So your post-secondary education, your career path, and what you like most about your career.
Post-secondary education was a while ago, but it's still ongoing. I initially went into economics at Carleton University, actually in Ottawa, and I hated it. It wasn't for me. And that's what some of you folks might find out. Maybe something you go into is not for you. Anyhow, I decided to finally go into English, because English was something not only that I enjoyed, but I was very good at. So I went to McMaster University and I finished my degree in English and Cultural Studies. But my last year of university, a friend of mine, I was on the debating society, and a friend of mine from the debating society got me into computers. He said, Marcus, this new thing called the internet's coming up, and I'll give you an account on the graduate student lab, and you can just fool around and with HTML and CGIs and Java and all that kind of stuff, which is what I did. I was spending 16 hours a day learning this stuff one summer, because Hamilton is a small town. I couldn't find a summer job. So I thought, hey, this is something I'm going to do. And lo and behold, my last year at university, I found a job as a web developer on the campus, a part-time job. And when I graduated, what did I do? Boom, I got a job with a small upstart company in Burlington, Ontario. I did that for a few months and I thought, you know, I really want to go into computers. This is something I like. Should I do a master's degree in it? It's going to take a couple of years. I really want to work. Or should I go to college? That's also going to take a couple of years. So I looked at the programs and I thought, you know, the one at Seneca College in computer networking was for me. That's what I was going to do. So I took off to Seneca. I spent a year doing it. And midway through at the end of my first year, I got a job with IBM in Toronto. And I've never looked back since. I finished off my diploma part-time and I've been working ever since in the field. So I guess the lessons learned, you never know, you know, you go into something you think you want to do, like economics, and you end up doing English because I wanted to become an English teacher. And lo and behold, I ended up in computers. But I never really finished that degree at Carleton. However, years later, in fact, just last year, I applied to Carleton to see how many credits I need to finish that degree. And they said, one credit to get my degree. So I have a Bachelor of Political Science degree I have yet to finish. I got one course, and that one course is a first-year course because I took so many of these optional courses. So I have a BA in English. I have a diploma in computer networking. I have that one course left to finish off my BA in Political Science. And I'm currently in an MBA program in England, in the UK, University of Cumbria. I'm doing an MBA in Information Technology. So that should finish in about a year and a half. And then I'll take that one remaining course to finish off my BA in Political Science. Who knows what I'll do after that. So that's in a nutshell, that's really my history of working. And that's kind of my history of post-secondary education. And that's really pretty much it. So back to you.
Awesome, thanks so much. And then we're also wondering, what do you like most about your career? I guess maybe like the combination of the things you've done.
Yeah, you know, I think it's the people. I think it's the people, really, because no matter where you're working, eventually, I should add, eventually, I ended up getting a job in China. I worked in China a couple of years ago, doing what I always wanted to do, teaching English at a university in China. I was teaching public speaking and debating to students, and that's where my heart really lies. That's where my heart really lies. So, but the same thing in every job, it's all people. So if you can't get along with the people you're working with, then you shouldn't really be there, especially in the job that I have now as a business analyst / project manager. If you can't communicate properly, then you shouldn't be in either of those jobs.
Awesome, thanks so much, Marcus. I also really liked how you touched on like what you might think you want to go into in university, and I guess some of the other panelists too, like that might not actually be what you end up doing. Because I know like speaking from like a high school student perspective, I do find that like you think, okay, what I decided out of high school, like that's where my life is going, like that's the decision that's like setting my course for the next 30 years. But
it changes. Yeah, it changes. Yeah.
Awesome, thanks so much. Now we'll pass it off to Huda. So the same questions, and maybe kind of similar to Lucy, because I think you're also still in university, if that's right.
Yeah, I'm still in my undergrad, so I'm entering my 3rd year of software engineering at the University of Calgary, and I'm also kind of similar to UC. I have a minor in biomedical engineering, not biochemistry, but on that life sciences side. So yeah, not as extensive as Marcus with all his degrees, just currently completing my first one. But since high school, so in my 1st year, I co-founded JAMH, which is just like a startup. We're dedicated to like decision making in the ESG sustainability space. And that's where a lot of my passion lies and what I've been doing ever since, with a team of 3 other engineers. And then this summer, I'm doing research at Destine Health, which is a stroke triage mapping software. So it's for paramedics to choose the closest hospital for the best patient outcomes for those experiencing an ischemic stroke. And then also alongside that, I'm completing a summer internship at Farm Credit Canada, which is a financial agricultural tool. And so for me, the best part of the software industry, I guess, would be it's like overreaching impact. Like it spans every industry and discipline, and that's hard to say for a lot of other jobs. There's so much potential, and there's software impacts health, it impacts agriculture, it impacts everything you can think of, and there's so many innovative minds in the field that are pushing it forward, and a lot of growth, and there's just a lot of potential. And I feel like being a part of this space is really motivating, and I think and everyone can see their impact and see their code in action.
That's awesome, Huda. Actually, I had one. Can I just ask you one follow-up question?
For sure.
I was wondering, did you say like in high school you came up with JAMH? I was wondering like how did you just like with your friends just like came up with the idea? I'm really curious, like how did that get started?
So JAMH, it actually started in our 1st year of university. So we were all in a consulting competition together. And so it was just like a 1st year engineering consulting competition. And we ended up winning 1st place in the Schule competition. So we went to the Western engineering competition. And then from there, it was just like all of our minds and like our passions aligned. And we just wanted to have a bigger impact than just a competition where ideas just died and then it was just like a certificate and then nothing happened with it. So actually being able to, conceptualize everything and actually create a product that could actually impact the world. So like we just worked really well together. So then we just decided to take it further. And we started off with a fake news detector that like scored the reliability of a website. And then we kind of pivoted from there, and now we're in the sustainability space.
That's super cool. I think, especially when you say like the fake news thing, I feel like, that's super cool. So that's the end of our questions that we've prepared. I just want to also remind students before I pass it off, if you do have any questions that you kind of think of or you might want to ask even like a specific panelist, just feel free to put them in the Q&A. I see a few are just starting to trickle in. So I'm going to pass it off to Katie now.
Awesome. Yeah, so now we're going to go to some of the